Hello to my new viewers. I do things. To my returning viewers, y'all already know the vibes. Come learn with me today. So basically, what am I doing today? I got a few options. So I did get my prep materials so I could paint these wheels. So I'm gonna have to put this on the 12s just for now. It's gonna sit as a roller because I can't leave it out here while I'm doing the wheels. But yeah, take the wheels off, start prepping those, tape up the tires so I don't paint on the tire, obviously. Yeah, stuff like that. So there's this one. This one right here, I've been doing some test fitting with that tank on it now, and I actually did come up with a seat. It's not actually the original shape for this bike, so this is the original seat for this bike right here. This is actually off of, I think this is my Hellcat seat if I'm remembering correct. But yeah, so basically what I want to do is use the original seat. I actually have 3 of these. So there was this one. I bought one, well actually I bought an E-Monster that I had the seat, and I actually started to convert it to a flat seat, so that kind of opts this one out, well that one out, because if anything this is a flat seat. So I kind of want to see what it's going to look like with a hump on it, right? If I pull this off, I'm just going to take the hump off of here, well the cover, and put it onto this seat, so then that way I keep the clean black look versus having the black and red with the whole everything going on. I like this seat admittedly, but it doesn't go with the theme. So yeah, with that being said, I'd rather just do it to that one, and then if anything I'll replace whatever I need to replace, like the dampers on it, because yeah, this one I'm missing I'm missing damn near all of them. So yeah, with that being said, I can jump into doing that. Also figuring out how I'm going to convert this tank to gravity feed. Right now the tank is full, so I need to figure out where I'm gonna dump this fuel at. I gotta get a gallon tank or something so I could just dump this out into. But realistically, dump the gas out of it, take the current fuel pump off of it, use the gasket so I could actually outline a plate, so then that way I could use a plate to bolt it up with the stock gasket, put a petcock on the plate, and I'll be good. So I've been looking into that last night too, trying to figure out what style petcock I want to go with. Do I want a style kind of like how the KP is set up, where it drops down off of the tank? If I do that, I'm gonna need the tube itself, or I'm gonna need a tube so I could actually thread it to whatever pitch the actual what's the name is, get that welded to the plate, and then I could slap that on there and have the lower petcock, or I could just put one directly on it and actually just use a nut on the other side with the O-ring basically to make sure it doesn't leak out. But yeah, I got a couple options. I actually need to jump on figuring out how I'm going to mount it. So this right here, these 2 are the stock mounts for the stock tank, because this one's pushed all the way back. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna mount it back there, and up here in the stock mount location, it isn't actually too bad. So it's sitting right on top of the stock location. So this plate that's on top, I'm gonna actually bolt it to where that hole is. So that plate is gonna be a part of the tank. Use some spacers so I could actually run bolts through here, and then actually slide it under the bolt that I have in place. It's gonna be a little bit finicky maybe, I'm thinking, but I mean, as long as it stays in, I'm fine with it. So as long as it hoops up here, then I could actually do a mount back here that'll just bolt down. So yeah, I got options today. Honestly, I think I'm gonna just jump straight on to taking these wheels off of the KP, so then that way I can start prepping those wheels. Another thing that I am considering too is running a similar setup to this as far as a license plate mount. Only because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up bottoming out on this, even though I realistically did want this tucked in some more. I just have to bend this in some more. Need some heat and some good, vice, so I could fold it in. But yeah. And then one more thing while I'm actually looking at it. So I've been wanting like a wing style grab handle for a minute, and because I took it off of the KP, I'm gonna figure out how to mount it onto here. Whether I gotta make a plate for it or what, I don't know. I'll figure that out. But yeah, I want to figure out how to mount this to this bike. So I might jump on to figuring that out today as well. It just depends if I got time. Just depends if I got time. So I don't know. I'm gonna see what I come up with today. Almost forgot about this one. So I did the service on it yesterday, did the oil change, I did the chain service, and I actually changed the clutch cable to the Nibby along with the Kimimoto that I pulled off of here. But I had to do some figuring out with it because this cable is just extremely long. So did some figuring out and I got it to work. So I'm not sweating it. But it is what it is. Reliable. She just starts right the fuck up. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, even though I haven't ran it in a minute, and the last time I personally tried to start it, it didn't start, probably because the battery was low. That's probably why, because my boy was over here working on his, and I had it over here because he needed this one for reference. It wasn't starting. I told him, go ahead, change the battery. Well, one of the batteries I got around here, he changed the battery in it. Oh, wow. Reliable. You let me down on camera. Wow. Do I got to bring the idle up some? I think I do. But typically just starts right the fuck up, honestly. Yeah, just had to bring the idle up. That's about it. Idle was too low. But yeah, reliable. She does her thing. Definitely still needs some looking over and some work. Just a matter of when am I going to take the time to actually do the looking over and the work that it's going to need. With that being said, I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to walk away from it because this ain't priority today. That one is. Now that I got it back on the stock setup, it's funny because that gap is kind of crazy where it's actually touching the rear tire, but I digress. Got the tires off. Well, got the wheels off. So what I'm about to do now is actually going to be removing the rotors, removing the valve caps, and I'm going to tape up the tire so that way I can start scuffing it up. Then, actually, no, I don't even need to tape it yet. I don't need to tape it until I'm actually going to paint. Because I'm not sanding, I'm just scuffing it because I need to redo the black. So, yeah, take off the rotors. While the rotors is off, I'm actually, because I forgot to do it last time I had that wheel off, I'm going to check and see if I can swap the actual disc on the rear. If I can. If not. Anyway, I'm going to move on to that. Update. I can go from a 4 to a 3, but I can't go from a 3 to a 4. So the hub itself is just a little too big. It's just a little too big. And I'm not going to shave it down to make it fit. This one was just a little too small. It was just a little too small. And not even too small, but it actually does give the rotor room to float. With that being said, the 4-bolt rotor came with 2. Oh no, it only came with 1 of the spring shims, right? Whereas the 3-bolt came with 2. So that one was on super tight. So I wouldn't even really consider that a floating rotor. Whereas that one I could, because there was actually some give in it. So I went with the 1 instead of the 2 back on the 4 hub setup. Now I'm about to actually take that front rotor off. I didn't put it on, but I'm about to take that front rotor off, pop the valve caps off, and start prepping so I could paint, because yeah, I got to get rid of all these ugly scratches on the rim. That's actually the whole reason why I'm painting it, because in the process of me making it fit, yeah, it got kind of ugly. So yeah, with that being said, I'm going to I guess put this rotor with my other rotors along with that hub, and I'm gonna have to put these together so that way I don't lose anything. And yeah, I'm gonna put those up. I guess, like I said before, I'll end up just swapping this rotor if I ever have to swap rotors, because I have another rotor. And then if anything, I'll get a replacement for this 3-bolt. I'll get a replacement for the 3-bolt, so that way I can still run the saw blade rotor. Another thing I wanted to bring up is the 245mm rotor. So this one doesn't bolt directly up. So what you have to do is, with the holes, you just have to actually widen them out, because they're actually elongated, kind of like how my finger is. So it's not a straight, like, it's not a circle, it's an oval. You elongate those just to get the shoulder of the bolt in, and that keeps the rotor on straight. Now, to run a 245, you're gonna at least need a radial, at least a radial caliper. Why? Because the radial by itself fits the 220. So you need that, and you need to add the spacers. Once you add the spacers, you can go up to the 245, and then if you add another stack of spacers, you can actually go up to the 267. But it's looking like, at least on a stock wheel, a 245 on a radial might be as big as you can go. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because the bleeder nipple is almost touching the wheel. So with that being said, you wouldn't even be able to run the cap, because the cap would just come off or rub off. So 245 is the biggest you can go on a stock 12-inch wheel. At least that's what it's looking like based on fitment. But if you do go up to 14s, like I did, you can run a 267. You just have to run a double spacer. So now I gotta do this one, because now this one's all ashy. Now, with that being said, the goal for what I'm doing is going to be to do a better job than was done at the factory. Now, for starters, there's no clear coat on here at all. There's no clear. It's just what I would assume is 1, maybe 2 layers of paint. Here's why I say that, because for starters, I'm gonna actually swing on over to this one, because this is what actually led me to knowing all of this. So I'm just working on it. I'm putting everything together. I think I was going to bleed the brakes, and I ended up spilling some brake fluid. So I ended up getting a rag with some brake clean on it, and that was the result of it when I went to wipe off the wheel. Right? So it's not the prettiest. Contemplating on painting these as well, but yeah, so paint started to come off with just brake clean. With that being said, yeah, that let me know all I needed to know. So off rip, I had intentions on at least clear coating, but because of all of the scuffs and everything on the back, I said fuck it, I'll just paint them. So yeah, now let me get to scuffing that one up so I can go ahead, wash the wheels down, lay the black paint down, well, dry them, lay the black paint down, couple coats of that, and yeah, go from there. So boom, both wheels are scuffed up, getting ready to actually go take them in so I could wash them. Now this is what I was talking about right here. where I was basically just hand scrubbing. I was using that, and paint is just chipping off. So you know what? I did a little bit, but I didn't do too much in those areas, only because it just started to flake off. With that being said, this isn't a how-to. I'm just showing y'all what I'm doing. So yeah, let me just teleport to washing these. All right, got both the wheels prepped. So I'm gonna just have to re-wipe that one down. I already wiped this one down, getting ready to actually paint it. So let me just get to doing what I'm gonna do. So I know y'all was probably looking like the bars was a little bit naked. I replaced my CarPlay unit. Come on. Unless I got, oh, there it goes, it's already coming on. So there's actually two lights over here. The green light lets me know that it's actually recording. I want to know what that red light does. I actually just discovered that red light, so I'm assuming that's just the power light. It's supposed to have GPS on it, so I can actually verify my speed here and there. I didn't connect my phone or anything to it yet because I literally just plugged it up. It's getting dark, so I'm about to go inside. I was gonna ride this one to the other garage, but then I remembered that right now I don't have any brakes, and the wheel is floating. Both wheels are floating, so yeah, I'm gonna just park that one back in there. With that being said, where are these wheels at? So as you can see, they're already glistening, right? Just the base. The black is just the base coat. So yeah, I'm gonna end up doing another coat in the morning because yeah, there's still some spots that need to be covered. It's just a matter of I have to go to my other garage to get another can because I ran out of paint. It just is what it is. It's one of those. I'll get it, but yeah, I'm gonna have to come back through and get in the crevices and whatnot. If anything, once I get in those spots, then it'll be good. I should actually be able to wipe it down tomorrow too. Mainly because unfortunately with me working out here, I do get dust and debris and shit just blowing in the wind. So yeah, I'm gonna have to clean those up again before I repaint them again, and then the final coat. But yeah, tomorrow morning I'm gonna come out, I'll check the paint on those, repaint them, and yeah, call it a day with that. For now, oh shit, let me not forget this on. Actually, let me just show you this. So this one only comes with 2 cameras. It doesn't come with the 3. So right now, because I was having an issue with the camera being located here, I located it there. The other one, I still got this one in the back. Now, honestly, I'm not too sure how well that one's gonna stay. Admittedly, not too sure. I kind of want to relocate it a little bit deeper in, but I don't know. I'll have to figure that out tomorrow when I got some more sunlight. And actually, realistically, once I got it back together, because the suspension travel is the thing. That was my issue. So I did bottom out on the camera a couple times, and I actually broke the mounts on the last setup that I had. Now here's the hoping that this camera is actually gonna last. It should. It so far seems like it's better quality. The cameras themselves are metal housed versus the plastic housed. The brackets are metal versus plastic. It even comes with damper on the mount for this, whereas the other one was just a solid mount. So I got hopes for this setup. I really got hopes for this setup. Only thing is, I kind of wish the camera was directly in front of me, but I don't want it to be at like some awkward angle right here where you just, and then the wires right here. So it just is what it is. It's more hidden right there. You can't even really tell. If you're walking by, you can't even tell that that's a camera. I mean, you can see this, but you can't even tell that that camera is there. Unless you're looking like, what is that? Why does it say IMX 307? Because you're being nosy, that's why. But yeah, with that being said, gonna call it a day. I'll be back out tomorrow. I will be back out tomorrow. And shout out to Old Reliable, because she's still running. I just did a service on it for the first time in at least 6 months. At least 6 months. Actually, I'm lying because I typically service the chain. But man, listen, Old Reliable. That's all I'm gonna say. Get you one. Get you an Old Reliable while you got projects in the works. On today's episode of What's Going On with the KP, I finally decided to cave and steal the FCR28 off of this bike, just for now. It's supposed to be a ride out tomorrow. So I'm in the process of painting the wheels, and I want to get this bike tuned somewhat better than it is, so then that way I don't have to really, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to, it goes, but you know, it's one of those, it really needs a fucking tune. So with that being said, I'm gonna try out the FCR28 just to see if I get any more gains out of going smaller but with bigger jets with that one. I don't know. I'm gonna see what I'll do. I just gotta open up both carbs because I'm gonna put the Quick Shot 3 on that, and I'm also gonna put the R&D Flex Jet on that. So that's actually where it came off of originally. That's the funny part. So it's going right back on just so I could get some testing in with it. But realistically, I like the FCR. It's just a bitch to tune. I'm just being honest. I really need this O2 bung put on, but it's just been an issue with me finding somebody to do it. That's all. With that being said, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. As you can see, I'm already in the process of taking it off. So throttle cables, take off the boot. You know, swap. We'll take the bowl off because I gotta take this off, take the Quick Shot off, swap those, and yeah, check jets. So basically, I don't know if I'm gonna want to get close to where I'm at on this carb or not, only because of the size difference. So I don't know. I'll just see. I will just see. Carbs are off. I'm actually about to take that off, but I did remember that these actually do come with reducers. So that's a 35 internally. This is a 33 internally. That's a 28 internally, and this is a 26 internally. So a part of me is actually thinking about giving the 33 a shot real quick versus actually dropping to the 28, just to see if maybe that might be, I could see that being a bit of a, you know, and mind you, that's the, so this is the 26, so, okay, interesting, so basically, yeah, the 35 might be too big. So I'm thinking if I get the 33, then it might go down to a 31. That's realistically what I'm thinking the adapter would be. But honestly, I'm about to give it a shot with the 33. Yeah, because, give me 1 second. Let me put it together. All right, so I got it on now. But yeah, as you can see, that's even with the 33. So I'm thinking, what if that may be my issue? Good flow. Now the only thing is, I'm gonna have to, I think, go to my other garage to grab the adapter that came, well, the intake boot that came with the engine, because that actually fits this carb. This one fits this carb. So if anything, that might be what I go do. I might go grab that real quick off of that bike. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go do that. Put the FCR28 on and see what I get there. I might actually just grab the carb itself, because that one's the PWK 30. So I don't know, I got a couple options. If I do that though, I'm gonna have to take the throttle off of that bike, because that one's a single throttle, and that one is actually set up for the PWK. If I wanted to take this cable off of this bike, which I can't even do that right now because I'm actually riding this bike right now, because I'm painting those wheels, so these wheels are floating. But anyway, I would have to cut this cable. So not even cut it, but the housing itself, I would have to shorten it, so then that way there's enough cable. So if you didn't see my install video on that, I'll actually put a picture of it so you can check that out. But yeah, it was very intuitive, I would say, to get that PWK to fit. But I got it to fit, got it to work, and yeah, I just blew that engine. So yeah, at least I got jets for this carb though. That's the main thing. So realistically, oh no, I might be getting too much air. I might be lean this whole time, but then again, that might be why I'm also getting rich, because I'm trying to add fuel to compensate. I think I'm gonna just go grab that carb and cable and the boot and everything, so I could see what I can come up with over here today. Update. Done a few things. So I've actually did a little port job on the intake manifold itself. Now I did keep it rough enough to where the fuel should be able to atomize. You don't want to just keep it completely smooth, because with a carburetor you need it to actually atomize. So there's that. Now the FCR 35, I didn't try it with the 33 adapter on it yet, but the 33 lines up with the boot perfectly fine, but it doesn't line up with the intake manifold. So a part of me realistically wants to try out the FCR 33. So then that way, I think that one comes with a 31 millimeter restrictor. If it does, then that might be the way to go. But I did grab my Nibby PWK 30, mainly because I actually had to go grab this for this carburetor, because this is the actual boot that came with this engine. So let me make sure I got it on the right side. Yeah, that's the right side. Okay, so boom, now I should be able to put this FCR on, which I already know is gonna be a bitch. I'm gonna have to figure that out, because this side is smaller. So honestly, here's another thing that I did, because with this bike, how the intake is set up, that's a very specific intake, right? So with the CG, I was able to use the adapter on this side, because this is a non-flanged carburetor. So I had to get the flange, which extended the carburetor out. Cool. So I already kind of knew how fitment was going to be on the frame. With that being said, I ended up using the original elbow that came from the filter. And yeah, I just cut it to size. That should be about enough. I did try it already. If not, I think I got the other one still. Yeah, I still got the other one if I'm remembering correct. So if I gotta cut it like back here, that's fine. But realistically, where the carb is at, the PWK is like somewhere in this area. I was actually about to give that one a shot. Realistically, I really don't want to play with the FCR, because that's for this bike. So yeah, I'd rather not do that. So I'm really dancing around on which carb I'm about to do. Honestly, that's all it is. I'm gonna put that PWK on. I'm just checking fitment right now. Take this back off. I cleaned that out. I put the cable on. I'm gonna have to route the cable in a way to where it's not gonna be caught up on anything or pinching, because that was the issue that I was having on the other bike with the carburetor. So basically, I'm gonna have to tighten it down to see how it's looking. honestly. Needed a longer fuel line for this carburetor than the other one, so grabbed one. Alright, let me just do what I'm gonna do. Give y'all another update. I'm gonna see what I got with this PWK on this engine. Update on the wheels. They don't look as good as they did yesterday. And you wanna hear the fucking crazy part? This can that I bought, it's completely full and it's a fucking dud. It is a fucking dud. What? It made a sound. It ain't doing nothing. Nothing. So I did all of this shit for nothing. And now I gotta fucking return this fucking can, which I don't even know if they're gonna take it back. That's crazy, bro. I don't even know if they're gonna fucking take it back. But it's not working. So like, I'm not gonna let it deter me. I'm gonna just, I guess, take the fucking tape off of these shits and just ride it until I get more paint. But fuck, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I try to be prepared, and things just don't work out. So with that being said, I'm gonna just fucking keep tuning this fucking bike. This is ridiculous, yo. That just pissed me off. Alright, so as you can tell, got it running with the PWK30, and honestly, straight out the box, I got full throttle. So I'm glad that I had this one sitting around, because that means I can actually, you know, test ride with this car and actually see what it's going to do, especially with that having a GPS on it too. So I can actually check here along with there just to verify that everything is matching with the 14s, which, yeah, if you've seen the last part, I gotta figure out what I'm about to do as far as painting these. I'm gonna have to redo them anyway, so a part of me is kind of glad that, you know, whatever, but like, honestly, these are some, you see it while it's rolling wheels. They look good from afar, not up close. I wasn't really, honestly, because I gotta, I'm trying to ride out tomorrow, that's the thing. If I wasn't in a rush, then yeah, I would have took my time with it. And I want to ride on these. I don't feel like figuring out the whole 12 with the 220 again. Especially since I already swapped the rotor. I don't feel like taking that apart. It's a lot. With that being said, so I'm gonna end up just riding on the primer until I figure out this whole paint situation. Honestly, I guess I can resand them and everything. I just gotta let them sit anyway. But that's the back tire. This is the front. Mind you, this is just primer, which honestly I ran out of the turbo can. I went to my other garage to see if I had more. I didn't, but I had 3 cans of this. So yeah. With that being said, the paint, as I showed earlier, let me just show again. Nothing. So it's like, did y'all put air in here at all? Because it's supposed to be an aerosol can, right? I don't know, I'm confused, but it is what it is. I'm realistically not going to even be able to test ride it until, I'm going to give it a couple more hours, honestly. And I don't even know what time it is right now. It's 4:41, so I guess 7 o'clock I can put them back on. Alright, whatever. But just to show you, yeah, so I'm gonna take this off for now, and I'm going to put the plastics back on, because the only thing I gotta do is just put the wheels on. That's about it. Wheels, and I gotta put the rotors back on the wheels, but other than that, yeah, put that back on. 5K30, and the throttle isn't getting hung up when I turn it, so that's a good thing. Of course, fucking course it would. So basically, I'm gonna have to put a sleeve in here. I'm gonna have to put something in there because, yeah. And it spit flames too when it won. I like it, Picasso. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get this figured out. I'm hoping this ain't gonna be an issue for me tomorrow because I don't know how long I'm gonna be out riding. Now, for right now, I think I might actually just I got another intake boot that I could swap to, if anything, but I don't know how it's gonna angle everything. So I'll do that tomorrow morning before I go. It starts at noon, so that gives me up to 11 o'clock. I'm only like a half hour away, but actually no, it's like 40 minutes away. So yeah, give myself some time. But okay, I'm gonna have to get that figured out. Definitely gonna have to get that figured out. On that note though, while I get myself ready to go on a ride out, I will see y'all tomorrow, or in the next video actually. For y'all it's the next video, for me it's tomorrow. So yeah, I said fuck that before I even went in, and I got it figured out. I put something in there so it shouldn't collapse. But yeah, I guess I'll find out how good this setup is tomorrow. So once again, with that being said, see y'all in the next update. Don't stop progressing and don't stop trying to solve your problems. You'll get it figured out, trust me. You will get it figured out. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Keep progressing.